Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my daily Walking Dead Q&A for today. In this one, we're going to start with giving our thoughts on who we think would be a great choice to play Beta. And spoiler warning if you're not caught up for the Walking Dead comic book series. I'm going to list this one as the Walking Dead Season 9 because I think it's going to be around Season 9 when we see Beta introduced. I suppose we could see him in Season 8, but that seems kind of early, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they pushed the Whispers back and had like some kind of filler season and it ended up being like Season 10 or something. So Beta, really cool character. If you're not caught up on the comic book series, he is pretty much the second, I want to say, in command to Alpha for the Whispers, and he takes over the Whispers, as something happens in the series, and is pretty much their lead with the Whisper War, as we're starting to see right now in the comic books. So this was a question from Rueben Voyageur, and he says, Trev, who do you think should play Beta? And there were some other people who had commented, and it's been a topic of conversation and comments the last couple weeks. And then his suggestion is, I think Rory McCann should definitely play Beta. And I thought that was a great suggestion, man. I mean, pretty much for Beta, you need a big guy. You need somebody who's probably like 6'5" or 6'3" at least. And huge, and Rory McCann would be perfect. He's even used to wearing, like the Hound makeup and that from Game of Thrones, and he's been in all kinds of other stuff as well too. Big scary dude, 6'5" roughly. Some sites have him listed as 6'6". 240 pounds, it's not huge, man. So he would be awesome in a few years for Beta in The Walking Dead. I would love to see them use him because Game of Thrones will even be over at that time, I would think, when they're introducing the Whisperers. So he would be my number one choice for sure. He's got the acting skills, he's got the size, he's got the weight, he's got the ability, he's intimidating, he's had lots of roles, especially like the Hound, where he's so very intimidating, and he's like a perfect cast choice, I want to say. Then there's some other people who have suggested some others. Some people said Kane from WWE, he might be good. He's a freaking monster. He's 7 feet tall, over 300 pounds, 323 pounds. But I think for him, I'd be surprised if they would be able to get someone like him. I don't know if he's still doing the WWE thing because I haven't watched, I haven't watched wrestling in forever. But he's been around like forever. I mean, he was in WWE since like, the 90s or like early 2000s? I don't know. I'd have to look it up. But he's huge and very scary too. But personally, I'd like to see somebody like Rory McCann just because, the acting ability in that. And I don't know. I mean, they do have to act too in WWE as well too. So he'd be great. But I think maybe his pay scale might be too high. I'm not sure if he would want to go for it, that kind of thing. So, but in reality, who will probably end up playing Beta? It'll probably be somebody we've never heard of, to be honest. It'll be somebody that, maybe is an actor, and he probably won't be as big as he is in the comic book series version either. So maybe, to do a prediction, I'm guessing somebody unheard of, we don't know, probably around like 6'2" or something, something like that, or 6'3" at best, probably. But definitely Rory McCann for me. I think Ruben's got the right idea. He would be, match made in heaven for Beta for sure. You guys can write your comments below for others. Of course, endless possibilities and so many actors out there that could be good, bigger actors that could be good for Beta. Either way, I think that those are two great suggestions, and it's probably going to be somebody we don't even know. So next question. So write your comments below, guys, what you think about that and who you think would be the best choice for him. Robin Allen says, in the Daryl Still Safe video that I did last week, he said, did you forget Carol was a female? There was a question where they asked, who's your favorite female in the television series, Trev? And I said, probably Michonne or maybe Maggie. I did forget about Carol. I did, So it's just kind of, I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because of her current state and where she's at right now. She's not with the main group. She's kind of off on her own with Morgan. Yeah, man, she's definitely got to be one of the best females in the series. And after episodes like No Sanctuary, she was my favorite for sure. Now I really like what they've done with Michonne and making her a really important character and making her and Rick have that really close relationship. So for me personally, I think I'm going to go with Michonne at this time, but Carol is super Rambo female badass for sure, absolutely. Next one's from Kevin Smith. He says, Q&A, Trev. We all know the show can't go on forever. Do you think that they will go with the alien causing the zombie apocalypse as the ending? Or do you think they will go with an entirely different route? How would you like to see this epic series to end? As always, keep cranking out those effing videos, man. Cool. So thanks to, I'm not sure if it's a role player or not. I'm assuming it probably is. So thanks, role player Kevin Smith. I'm a big fan of Kevin Smith, by the way. I do like a lot of his stuff, and I watch his Fat Man on Batman, which is fun. He's got like a YouTube channel too. Which is awesome to see because he's like a professional comic book geek, which is always awesome. There's not many of them, so it's pretty sweet. So if you guys don't know, I've done videos on this in the past before. Kirkman has let it out in interviews that he did originally pitch The Walking Dead as aliens created the zombie virus, which caused the zombie apocalypse. And it never came about in the series because it was just kind of a pitch to get it greenlit, and it worked. And then we kind of forgot about the alien thing, and he never included that. So for me personally, I would not like to see the alien thing explored, as it just would not fit. Like it feels like it would not fit with The Walking Dead. Series like Stranger Things, for example, which is on Netflix right now and doing great. A lot of people love it. Alien invasion movies, The Sign, and stuff like that. It just, to me, it would not fit with Walking Dead at all because they play The Walking Dead through, especially in the TV series version, as like so realistic and so like straight to it that it would be really weird to see aliens at the end of The Walking Dead. That would just be so weird. So I think they will go a different route. I think eventually you'll see, Rick get killed off, and maybe eventually when the series ends, it'll probably be due to maybe the cast just burning out in the TV series and in the comic books. Maybe something like Carl dying or something like that after Rick, if it goes on for that long. So I'm hoping that's what we see is Rick, live for maybe another 5 years or so, or maybe even less, and then be killed off, and then Carl take over for the rest of the story. I think that would just be just an incredible way to go with the story, and in terms of point of view, I think that would be amazing to do it that way perspective. We'll do a couple more. Next one's from Scott. He says, do you think Negan, revealing Negan's backstory and origin could hurt the quote-unquote villain to us, the viewer or reader? Perfect example is how Lucas took the mystic out of Darth Vader by having 3 horrid prequels. Keep up the great work. So that's true. There's something, this isn't in philosophy, there's Daniel Dennett, he coined this. It's called a skyhook. So it's the difference between a crane and a skyhook, and it means that basically if you have some element of secrecy in there, okay, and in game, this involves game theory too, in that if you had somebody, let's say you had somebody who lived in Brazil in like the forest or something, there's people like this that just all of a sudden find civilization and they don't know how to speak or like anything, they don't know any languages or anything. Let's say you had somebody who was really primitive, and the first time they saw a crane, they think it's some kind of magic, because the cranes are huge, they're impressive, they're amazing. You walk out and you see a crane, you're like, oh my god, first time, right? So it's got the element of secrecy in that, and it seems like there's some kind of magic element to it, because it's so incredible. Like, how could man make this kind of thing? You get that with the pyramids and that too, right? But if you know all the details to it, you know what a crane is, you see it and it's still impressive, but it's not like there's no magic to it. There's no because there's no secrecy. So once you take the secrecy away in game theory, and you know all the details, you can reduce it. Reductionism can take place, and then you understand it, and it's not so impressive anymore. It's like a magic trick. If someone shows you how the magic trick is done, you're like, oh well, that's just done with this and that and this and that and that. And there's no mystique to it. There's no there's nothing amazing to it. But for me, I like to see, so there is that worry that it could become boring by explaining it. Just like if you explain a joke, it's not funny anymore, especially if you break it down the type of joke, it's not funny. So, but for me personally, I like to see it. Like, I feel like now that we know Negan's backstory, at least part of it, we understand that his wife's name was Lucille. It's tragic, and I like to see it. I like to kind of analyze and get to see everything as part of it. And as long as it's done well, then usually it just adds to the character for me. The prequel movies, a lot of people hated them, and it kind of ruins the mystique of Darth Vader because you get to see it all, and he's like crying and he's whiny and that kind of stuff. It can definitely do that too if it's not done well. But if it's done well, I'm all for the nuts and bolts of it. I like to see all the details put together and get that full-on backstory so that we understand where a character's coming from, its motivations and everything. And it's always fun to have the magic of a skyhook, but, you know, in this case, I guess I'm going to go with a crane. I like to see the backstory of Negan if it's done right. So there it is. Next one, and this will be the last one, is from Halo God 18. He says, "Hey Trev, I've got a question for you for your Q&A videos. What would be the most disappointing death for you when we see who Negan kills? Could it hurt the ratings of the show? Also, which death would have the biggest impact?" Well, Halo God, definitely if he killed off Rick, that would be the biggest impact, or Daryl, I'd say next. Not going to happen, guaranteed. So, most disappointing death for me would be like somebody like Aaron, because it's like, all that, we waited all this time for just for that. It's like, whatever, man. Or even Abraham is not that impressive either, because, you know, in the comic book series he was killed off in that already, so it's like whatever. So yeah, but we'll see how it all plays out, and you know, it should be great when the series returns. I'm going to be excited, even if not for just who he's killed off, to see Negan, to get to see the new season. I can't wait. It should be incredible. So that's it for this video today, guys. Keep sending me your questions for the Q&As, and I'll keep right on making them. If you like this video, please don't forget to thumb it up. Please share. Please favorite. And if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left, appreciate everybody who subscribes. Write your comments below on who you think should play beta. That's it for this one, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow for another. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya.
You better subscribe.